In this video, I'm going to be going over the pros and the cons of living in Loma Linda, California. I'm going to be sharing with you guys the good, the bad, and the ugly. And if you guys stick around until the end, I'm going to share a con with you that's not really talked about, but it's a need to know if you're planning to make that move to Loma Linda, California. So stay tuned because we're going to get after it right now. If this is your first time to this channel and you want to know everything that there is about living, eating, breathing, playing in Loma Linda, California, then subscribe below, tap that bell for notifications so you can be the first to know about the current market in Loma Linda, California. My name is Jonathan. The team and I, we get calls and emails every single day from people just like you. And we absolutely love it. So whether you guys are moving in 9 days or 90 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or schedule a Zoom down below so we can meet face to face and have that one-on-one so we can help you make that smooth move to Loma Linda. Now you guys, Loma Linda, let me give you guys a little bit of insight about what Loma Linda is or where it's at, or just a little bit of history. So Loma Linda, you guys, has a population of a little under 25,000 people. So yes, it is a smaller community in Southern California. 25,000 people in Southern California is a very small community. A lot of the cities out here usually have 50,000 plus. So yes, smaller community in size and in population. Now, one of the cool things about Loma Linda is it is a blue zone. Now, what is a blue zone, right? For those that don't know, the term just refers to the geographic areas in which people have low rates of chronic disease, right? And they usually typically live longer than anywhere else. And in this case, majority of the people not majority, but groups of people in Loma Linda actually live a decade longer, which is it's pretty neat, right? So Loma Linda has been the National Center of Health, you guys, and wellness research for decades. I mean, for a long time. I know living in Southern California, South California, for all my years, I always see these Loma Linda hospitals, and always never really put it together that they actually came from Loma Linda, California, right? So the tradition of promoting food, health, and wellness has continued over the years in Loma Linda. So in 1993, Loma Linda actually became the first smoke-free city in San Bernardino County. So they were ahead of the curve for a very long time. So a little under 30 years now, they've been promoting the smoke-free type of environment, which just essentially means, you guys, is you are prohibited from smoking in all outdoor dining areas and within 25 feet of other similar type of areas. So, public type of areas, you're not going to be smoking around them because you will get fined. And so that's, one of the great things. And they promote that not just for, to promote, I guess, anti-smoking, but also to help other people with not catching the secondhand smoke. So that's just something for you guys to know. But overall, I mean, Loma Linda is a cool little spot. I mean, they do have the parks, maybe a golf range here, coffee shops, restaurants, and a lot of churches. So I don't get into all that, but however they do, that's just an option, fun fact for you guys to know. Now, what we're gonna do, you guys, is I really wanna jump into the pros and cons. And so with all that being said, I'm gonna give you guys your desserts and your veggies. You guys know probably what your desserts is, the pros, and your cons being the veggies. Let's jump into your guys' desserts with pro number one. So pro number one of living in Loma Linda, California, you guys, it is gonna be the great schools that they have. So they do have great schools. And on top of that, you guys, they have a Loma Linda Medical University, where literally Loma Linda University and all the Loma Linda hospitals are from. Loma Linda. So yes, they do come from Loma Linda. They do have some great schools in Loma Linda, and I believe they do have some shared unified school districts, just because it's such a small town, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like as well as Eastvale, California, you guys, they have a shared unified school district with, I believe it's Norco, Riverside, and Corona, which is a great thing because Corona, Norco have great schools, which guess what? The residents of Eastvale, California also get to enjoy those great schools. Same thing applies here with Loma Linda, you guys, because I believe they do have some unified school districts, which I will confirm, but yes, they do have some amazing schools in Loma Linda. So that is why we're naming that as pro number 1. So pro number 2 of living in Loma Linda, California, you guys, is going to be the low crime. Now, I say low crime, you guys, and I don't mean like really, really low. That's me being very transparent and honest. I just want to say the crime is lower than the national and the state average in, you know, California. So yes, typically you do have some crime here and there. What you usually see is a drunken disorderly, maybe from college students or whatnot. But however, the crime, it is lower when you're talking about violent crimes, right? Such as assault or robbery, or even property crimes like burglary or theft. Now those crimes are actually, yeah, they're pretty lower than the state and the national average when you're comparing to other similar cities of its size. So that is one great thing about living in Loma Linda, California. Now let's go on to pro number 3. Pro number 3 of living in Loma Linda, California, you guys, is going to be the health and fitness, right? So like I mentioned earlier in the beginning of this video, right, it is a blue zone, right? They are big into health and fitness. People tend to live longer due to the health and fitness in Loma Linda. So yes, Loma Linda, because it is one of those blue zones, it is a smoke-free city, right? People are typically going to live a lot longer. So the health and fitness in Loma Linda, it is pretty big. You guys will see people walking out on the street, doing the morning walks, morning jogs, and just staying healthy. So yes, people eat healthier as well. So that is a really cool thing about living in Loma Linda, is the health and fitness is pretty dang on well. So pretty awesome. But you guys, that is going to finish off all your desserts. Now I want to jump into your guys' veggies, and let's start off with con number 1. Before I jump into your con number 1, I did want to say Loma Linda actually does have great diversity. So that would have been your guys' pro number 4. But I just kind of thought about it at the end, and I had it written down in my notes. But yes, it is very diverse, which is really, really awesome, for the simple fact that when you have diversity, you know, there's other things that come with it. And I love to bring that on, you know, other cities that do have diversities, because when it comes to diversity, you guys have different cultures, different foods, different jobs, different businesses, and it just goes on and on and on. So diversity is a great thing, and Loma Linda does provide that diversity. Now let's get into con number 1, which is going to be the lack of things to do in Loma Linda. Now earlier I mentioned, yes, you guys can go to the parks, hit the little golf range, maybe go to coffee shops, restaurants, you know, things like that. But the lack of things to do is actually, you know, I'm not joking when there is a lack of things to do, whether I'm talking you guys nightlife or more indoor activities or outdoor activities, they just don't have it. Yes, it is a smaller city. It is smaller, not in just population, but land-wise as well. So there's not a whole lot of things to do when it comes to actual like things to do. So if you guys are looking to go like skydiving, or you guys are looking to go, I don't know, for example, maybe golf cart riding or hitting arcade games, or, you know, awesome, you know, amusement parks or theme parks, entertainment rooms, right? You're not gonna have that in Loma Linda. However, the surrounding cities or nearby cities definitely do have those options. That is just something for you guys to know. It is the lack of things to do within Loma Linda, itself. So that right there is our con number 1. Con number 2, you guys, is going to be our lack of job opportunities. Now, again, you guys can kind of put 2 and 2 together. It is a smaller city, smaller town. There's not a whole lot going on. People typically tend to work outside of Loma Linda, minus your small retail stores, or I'm sorry, big retail stores, but you know, your traditional Walgreens and CVS's or Ralph's, Stater Bros, things of that nature. Obviously, the medical field is big in Loma Linda, given that they do have Loma Linda University, the hospital, etc., etc. So yes, the lack of job opportunity is not there like we would want it to be. So I did have to name it, and I did want to put it in this video. So that's something for you guys to always consider when you're deciding to make that move to Loma Linda, California. Now, we're gonna finish off the cons, right? And this one's not really talked about. It's kind of a little bit known, but kind of people just kind of brush it away when they talk about it. But the con is going to be the weather. Now, everybody thinks, oh, Southern California, beautiful weather, amazing all year long. Well, no, that is not the case if you're trying to move to Loma Linda. It actually has some pretty gnarly weather, right? So out of, 90 days out of the year, 90 plus days out of the year, you're gonna have some really hot weather, like 95 degree and above weather, 90 degree Fahrenheit for those of you that are outside of the United States watching, 90 degree Fahrenheit. So that is pretty dang on hot. Okay, so I mean, you do have to consider that. Those are during the summer months. And the typical rain that you get in Loma Linda is under 25 days a year. So less than, a little over 3 weeks, you guys will get rain. Other than that, it's pretty dang on dry and it's pretty hot. Now, that is also something to consider. Now, I want to say that northwestern portion of Riverside County and South San Bernardino does typically get pretty freaking hot. So again, you guys always have to consider that, maybe look at getting a house with a pool, or making sure your house definitely has AC, which they all pretty much do here in Loma Linda. But again, also something to consider. But you guys, that is going to wrap up this whole segment of this video. Now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna do a little market recap of everything that I just talked about. So I'll see you guys right now in 1 second. Wow, that was a really long 1 second. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. So this is the market recap time, right? So overall, Loma Linda, it is a great place to be. It is, I wanna say that there is not a lot of homeowners in Loma Linda like we would like it. It's actually more of a renter type of city because of the university and stuff like that. A lot of students moving in and out. And so that is also something to consider. A lot of people just don't know that, right? Is the lack of actual home ownership in Loma Linda is pretty big. So we're trying to change that. So if you guys are looking to live in Loma Linda and you guys are trying to purchase, it's a great opportunity. And so it is a smaller community, not a whole lot of things to do, but a great place to raise a family. If you do have kiddos, the parks or the nearby places that you can go do things. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, is there is nearby places that you can do things. I don't know why I just had a brain fart, you guys. But yes, there is options outside of Loma Linda. But if you guys like the peace and quiet, right? If you like a slower pace type of environment, then Loma Linda, California might just be the place for you. Now, yes, there is a lot more pros than just, the 3 that I named, but there's also more cons. But I firmly believe these were the most 6 relevant questions that I always get when people ask me about Loma Linda. And so that's gonna wrap up this whole video. If you guys have questions, comment down below. I'd love to answer any questions you guys may have. Thank you guys for watching Living in South California.